Yo, 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 what's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? Do not adjust your screens. Yes, I am flying solo tonight. Just a Fan Podcast still rolling on every Tuesday. Flying solo. Guys are out for different reasons, but hey, I'm available. Let's keep it going. Um, it's me, Coach Williams, the NFL Encyclopedia, the Wildcat quarterback that runs this thing. Tonight's show is interaction with you all. So if y'all have any questions, comments, um, if y'all have any questions or comments, put them up in there. What's up, D? Um, Anything football related, just drop them in the chat, and I would definitely respond to it. Um, I'm gonna get a little started though while I wait for y'all to come on in and drop questions. Today, um, what was going on this time of the year in football in the off season, um, before the NFL draft, is something called Pro Day. For the pro days, there are different colleges that have pro days where players work out, regardless if they went to the combine or not, and it gives coaches a chance to work them out personally, to different drills and stuff. Today, Auburn had their pro day. Cam Newton was at the pro day today at Auburn, where he said he was going to throw the football because he believes that he could still be a starting quarterback in the league. For Cam, well, and he was at Auburn's pro day because, well, that's the school he came out from to go pro to the NFL. He had a whole lot of success with Auburn. For Cam Newton, I saw a clip of him throwing the football, which is cool. But my thing with Cam always was, can you be an accurate passer in the quick passing game? And what I mean by quick passing game, for those who don't know, when you run certain routes that's like 5-10 yards downfield, immediate passes within that range. And Cam's best season for that was when North Turner was his first year with North Turner as OC, and he had a completion percentage like around 69%. And I was just so impressed with Cam. And when they first hired North Turner, I thought that was a very odd pairing because North Turner was an air Coryell throw deep kind of guy all the time. And yeah, Cam Newton could throw it deep, but I think it was like more like it was just more than just throwing it deep. It was like, you have to have your reads and stuff. And North Turner had no college background. I mean, I could say college background, but modern college background where you do all the different option things. And Cam Newton was strong with option stuff. But North Turner was able to marry his offense to what Cam Newton's strengths were and made it work. So for Cam, definitely. I mean, you can throw the ball deep, but like I said, what's a quick passing game look like? You're throwing the ball in air, no one's really defending the receiver. So it looks good, but you know, we still got to see what it looks like in the more like practice 7-on-7s, stuff like that. So mini camps is very crucial if he ever gets signed. Darren, good question. He's not playing right now because teams just don't want to sign him. They don't think he's a starting quarterback right now, and his body broke down before he started playing. So that's what happened with Cam. We'll see if he gets back. If he gets back, but he has to convince a general manager and an owner to and a head coach to want to bring him in to be a starter. And he's in his early 30s. Teams can get a younger player who more than likely can be cheaper. So that's a strong reason why. Prolific Rambo. Cam was great, but missed his window. I hate they never got him anything better than Calvin Benjamin, Carolina. And then you follow up with the Greg Olsen. Was it? Yeah, and actually, Greg Olsen. Greg Olsen. Funny story. I don't know if y'all know. Greg Olsen was drafted in Chicago, and the only reason why I feel like he ended up in Carolina was because of Mike Martz. Mike Martz was the offensive coordinator. He doesn't like tight ends for some reason, although he liked Vernon Davis in San Francisco, but I think it was more so for speed. He traded Greg Olsen. He wanted Greg Olsen traded out to Chicago, so he got traded to Carolina. But yeah, Calvin Benjamin didn't pan out. Devin Funchess didn't pan out. Neither one of them panned out a wide receiver. Um, they just kept running him to the ground. They just say, "Hey, put your Superman cape on every single play and keep making plays for us." And yeah, that's good for first 3-4 years in the NFL, but you can't keep relying on physicality over and over and over again. Your body's gonna break down. And I don't know why teams don't get that by now when it comes to quarterbacks. Bodies break down. Cam Newton's body broke down. Dante Culpepper's body broke down. Steve McNair is the one quarterback who would his arm be dangling, leg be missing. He'd be doubtful they list him as doubtful on Tuesday, Wednesday. Thursday, Friday, he'd be questionable. Saturday, he'd be 50-50 chance of playing. And Sunday, he ended up playing. Like, they probably kept all kinds of tape and bubble wrap around him just to so way he can play on Sunday, and he played. But I mean, even his body broke down. So they didn't do enough for Cam Newton during in his prime. Yeah, he got to Super Bowl. Yeah, he won MVP during the regular season that year. But they never developed Cam Newton to be the best kind of quarterback he should have been. All right, y'all. Also, I see somebody hit the like button on the Facebook side. Thank you so very much. If y'all would hit the like button, please. Share the video as well. If you have any more questions or comments, drop them in the chat box. I will respond to them. Let's see what else is going on in around the league. Free agency slowing down a little bit, y'all. Last week it was hot for 4 days. It's kind of slowed down a little bit. Still some signings here and there. Las Vegas Raiders right now are looking like New England Patriots West with Josh McDaniels as head coach, Jacoby Myers at wide receiver. They traded Darren Waller to the Giants, which I don't like. That's ridiculous to me. And they have Jimmy Garoppolo, which they downgraded at quarterback. So the Raiders Raiders really took a step back. I mean, you still have Josh Jacobs running back. That's cool. Davante Adams, a wide receiver with Hunter Renfrow right now. That's cool. But Raiders took a step back. And I don't know what their record was this past season, but I expect it to probably be worse. Rashad, what's up, man? How you doing? He asked me a good question. How do I feel about my team's moves lately? For those who don't know, I'm a Cowboys fan. I think almost all y'all know because y'all regulars in here. Dallas. Let me say this about Dallas. I'm liking their moves. You trade a 5th-round compensatory pick to the Indianapolis Colts for Stephon Gilmore, who for majority of his career has been a cornerback one and been able to shut down a lot of wide receivers. Now he's going to be like cornerback 2, or he might be covering the team's second best receiver. I'm sure, and I've seen this highlight tape from last year. He can still cover team's best receiver. So really, at the end of the day, they can interchange Diggs and Gilmore and covering receivers, the team's best receiver, whoever they play. So I'm interested in seeing how Dan Quinn uses them. I love it. I love that trade. And I mean, you only have them for 1 year. You have them for 1 year, so I'm fine with Stephon Gilmore coming to Dallas. Then Dallas traded a 5th round pick this year and a 6th round pick next year for Brandon Cooks. They gave the picks to Houston. Brandon Cooks, for majority of his, for like 6 out of 9 seasons, had 1,000 yards. One of those 1,000 yard seasons with quarterback Tyrod Taylor. So I'm fine with Brandon Cooks coming to Dallas and being the WR2, CeeDee Lamb WR1, Michael Gallup WR3. I mean, you put Cooks on the outside, probably more so on the right side of formation, Gallup on the left side of formation on the outside, CeeDee Lamb on the inside. Now defense corners going to have to figure out who to cover and how to cover them. That's not going to be easy at all. So to give up late draft picks for 2 guys who's going to be very impactful for your team says a lot. And Cooks is on the hook for 2 years this year, this coming season, and the following season. That's great. That is great. That's perfect for Dallas. And then Dallas signed Ronald Jones today. They brought back Dante Fowler as a depth piece at defensive end to go with, because you have Parsons, DeMarcus Lawrence as the starters, Dorrance Armstrong, Chauncey Golston, Sam Williams, Dante Fowler. Like, that's 6 defensive ends deep. Dallas is 6 defensive ends deep. And they signed an offensive lineman who can play tackle and guard. And that's death insurance just in case Tyron Smith gets hurt again because he can't stay healthy. So as long as Dallas keep doing what they need to do this offseason and they hitting this draft, this is going to be a very strong season for Dallas. And Pando, who's a 49ers fan who can't stand Dallas to save his life, he's been talking for the last 48 hours in our group, in our Marco Polo football group chat, saying this. He said, hate to admit it, but Dallas is having a smart offseason. And he's right. They are having a smart offseason. Mike Fisher, who covers the Cowboys on SI.com, asked Jerry Jones last year, he said, are you still Wildcat and Jerry? And he said, yes. So it had me thinking, I said, okay, he's still Wildcat and Jerry. He wants to win the Super Bowl ring. So how is he going to show that he's still Wildcat and Jerry? I think he's still Wildcat and Jerry, but he's a different kind of Wildcat Jerry. He's a Wildcat Jerry now, smart, versus Wildcat Jerry risk. And what I mean is, he used to make a lot of risky moves. Like, for example, he traded 2 1st-round picks to Seattle for Joey Galloway. Okay, back in 2000, that didn't work out. He traded a 1st, 3rd, and a 6th to the Detroit Lions for wide receiver Roy Williams. That didn't work out. But now to do what you're doing is smart. So it's Wildcat Jerry smart versus Wildcat Jerry risk, if you get what I'm saying. That was a good question, Rashad. Darren asked a question: who do you think is the best receiver in the NFL this year? Man, there's a lot of options. Justin Jefferson's a great receiver. It's kind of hard for me to narrow down to one. I mean, I'm gonna give you about 3 names. Justin Jefferson, Cooper Kupp, but Kupp got hurt this year, so we'll see what happens with that. Stephon Diggs is a great receiver, but he wants out of Buffalo. I don't blame him. Devontae Adams is a good receiver. I think he's in a bad situation in Vegas. He needs to get out of there. He needs to get out of there. So it's some great receivers, but right now some of the situations just not favorable. Justin Jefferson does not have a great quarterback. He just got force fed the football because the head coach came over from the Rams, and they did pretty much almost did that with Cooper Kupp. So, but there's some great receivers out there, a lot of them. Let's see. Another team I want to talk about. Let me talk about. Give me. I'm gonna give. I'm staying within the division since I know my division very well. Philadelphia. Philadelphia is, I think, took a step back. I know it may sound like I don't. I mean, I don't like Philadelphia, no, but I think Philadelphia. Yeah, you brought back James Bradbury. You brought back Kelsey. You brought back Slay and Fletcher Cox. But to me, you lost Hargrave, your best interior pass rusher. You lost two linebackers. You lost two safeties. That's a lot to lose. And I think they take a step back. They don't have depth at defensive tackle. Fletcher Cox can't play a lot of snaps anymore. Um, yeah, you have Jordan Davis to stop the run, but I just tell my running back to run away from him and make him chase, get him out of breath, and keep him on the sidelines so that way you can run up the middle. I think Philadelphia's in way more trouble than people realize. And for understand, they had a guard on the team that went to Pittsburgh. He's very smart. So I feel like he's like half the brain trust on the offensive line with Kelsey. If Kelsey goes down, the offensive line is going to be in shambles. That offensive line is going to be in shambles. Philadelphia can't afford to lose Kelsey, and they can't afford to have Jordan Davis on that sideline too long, not being able to stop the run. So I think Philadelphia takes a major step back. Um, Darian has a question about Antonio Brown. People say that he comes back to NFL. Do I agree? I disagree. I think his no one wants him anymore. He flamed out in Pittsburgh. He flamed out with the Raiders. He flamed out. Well, I don't know what happened in New England, but they just didn't keep him long enough. Um, his off the field antics is way too much. His career is done. Oh, he flamed out in Tampa Bay. So Tony Brown is done. I really haven't talked about Tony Brown since what happened in that Tampa Bay game against the Jets. It's done. It's over. He's done. All right. Any more questions, comments? Keep them coming, y'all. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. Um, let's see. Who else another team I'm gonna talk about? New Orleans. New Orleans bringing the quarterback Derek Carr is crucial for them. They have a good veteran quarterback. That's an upgrade over Winston. Matter of fact, keeping Winston as a backup is great as well. So they have great quarterback depth. In case Carr goes down, let's say 3, 4 games, Winston gonna win at least two of those. So that's perfect for New Orleans. The offense should have some juice. Um, Kamar is in a situation he might be suspended, let's say 6 games, but even still, they can just drive the running back and keep it moving, and he'll be back. You have a good receiver in Chris Olave. You have a solid defense. I think New Orleans should easily win that division unless not that New Orleans should win the division with no problem. So New Orleans probably win the division this year. Just hit in the draft and they win that division title. They're going to the playoffs next year. Questions, comments, questions, comments. Bring them in, bring them in. Let's see. Another team I'm gonna talk about real quick. If y'all got any teams questions, draft questions, ask me some draft questions. I've been studying defensive linemen and linebackers this year. Um, because I actually I got my Word document ready to I can pull that up and matter of fact, I'll tell you what, let me do that. Give y'all some defensive linemen who I like. Go back up real quick. There's a defensive lineman, defensive end coming out of Northwestern. I cannot pronounce his name for nothing. Um, yeah, I'm not going to even try to pronounce his name. But anyway, he's come out of Northwestern, 6'2", 282. Ran a 40 and 4.49. I know people talk about the defensive tackle from Pittsburgh, but this defensive end from Northwestern, if you kick him inside because of his size to defensive tackle, he will I think he's faster and he has longer arms. So I think if you keep him inside and work with him, I think he can be a better defensive tackle than Kendrick Clancy from Pittsburgh. And Clancy's not Aaron Donald. I know they came from the same school, same size and everything, but people need to stop. People need to stop comparing college prospects to former NFL prospects, especially if they are like once in a lifetime type player. Aaron Donald's rare. Aaron Donald's a rare football player that we're not going to see probably for another 10, 15 years. So we need to stop comparing players just because they came from the same school. They have the same size and everything. Let the player be the player. But if you see similar stuff, fine. But just work on that when you drive him into the NFL and just develop him. That's what the NFL is about. The NFL is not just when you draft them, you should still be developing them, no matter how old they are in the league. Get them to the best, so that way your team has the best chance of going to the Super Bowl and winning. But yeah, I like the defense line come out Northwestern. I think he can attack B gap and be a true threat and shut down and really make get pressure on the quarterback, sack the quarterback, make plays. Um, like I said, I can't pronounce his name. I know it starts with an A. Last name starts with A as well, but both names are hard to pronounce. I Adebawore is his last name. That's the best I can do for you. Like I said, defensive end out of Northwestern. I think he'll be a good defensive tackle. Kick him inside, let him dominate B gap. Let's see, who else do I like? There was a guy. Hold on. Who's the guy who I said it's a 4 eye? Yeah, here we go. Go back up. Lucas Van Ness. Lucas Van Ness is a defensive lineman coming out of Iowa. He had a good 40-yard dash at the combine, 4.58, 6'5", 272, but he's not dominant unless he's more so inside. I think if you line him up on the inside shoulder, the offensive tackle, and let him handle B gap that way, he'll be good. But he's a type of player who needs pass rushers around him to make him better than what he is. If he's the primary pass rusher, he'll struggle. He'll probably give you 7 to 9 sacks a season. If you pair him with a Hassan Reddick or Nick Bosa, he'll still probably have 7 to 9 sacks, but that's him. It's better for him to be the number 2 pass rusher versus the primary one. If he's your third best pass rusher while he's still in the field with the other 2 guys, like let's say he has a Bosa and a I don't know, somebody second tier, like that'd be fantastic for him. Lucas Van Ness, I think I say Iowa. Yeah, Iowa. He'll be a great 4 eye in his defense. I would definitely draft him, but I wouldn't draft him to like probably round 3 or something, just because, like I say, it's not the primary pass rusher. Primary pass rushers you want to spend like a first round or second round pick on. Definitely first round pick. Give you all another defensive lineman I like. Let's see. There's another guy who I like based off of his size. If you kick him inside, actually, hold on. Let me give you this linebacker, Henry To'o. linebacker, Alabama, 6'1", 227. Um, I feel like at Alabama, he was the weak side inside linebacker. Smart football player. Um, if he's in a 4-3, he's definitely on the weak side. Will backer. Um, if you pair him up with a equally or higher football IQ Mike Backer, then those two guys stopping a run will be perfect. He doesn't have great speed, but instincts will get him there to the football. So I'm not calling him Sean Lee, but Sean Lee was that type of guy who wasn't athletic, but because he could diagnose the play before it started, he knew where to go, so he was able to make plays. Um, a lot of times before the running back got a lot of yards. So, like I said, have him as a weak side backer in a 4-3, or just an even front period, which is 4 down lineman, and pair him up for Mike linebacker, who's very smart as well, and let them both make plays all day long. Um, Based on the size, I would think he was a strong safety, but I mean close enough anyway because strong safeties, for the most part, are box safety. So this is, I mean, to me, it's perfect for him. Henry Toto from Alabama, 6'1", 227. I do not have his 40-yard dash, but yeah, you can tell he wasn't really all that fast. Let's see. Oh, this defensive tackle who I like, Brian Brees, Clemson, 6'5", 298, 486, 40. I wonder for him, they make him a 3-tech defensive tackle in the even front. I wonder if he'll be a guy that will get a whole lot of sacks. He will get a lot of sacks if you develop him. See, football's all about development. You're gonna hear me use that word a lot throughout this draft process, even just in future shows, regardless if I'm talking draft or not. But draft, not draft, but develop this guy, Brees from Clemson, 6'5", 298. I think he can get after the quarterback. He'll be one of those 290-pound defensive tackles that will probably get about 15 to 20 pressures a season. Guys like Jeffrey Simmons does that. Deron Payne does that. Who else I said does that? And Quentin Williams, those kind of players, man, they average 15 to 20 pressures a season. That's what you need these days in football. Everybody got defensive people focus on defensive ends, and that's fine. But that defensive tackle, if you get that pass rushing defensive tackle up the middle that can pressure the quarterback in his face, he won't be able to step into his throws. And if you have a quarterback who can't step into his throws or he's always throwing off his back foot, you lose velocity on the football and has a higher chance of throwing interceptions. That's crucial. So, like I said, defensive end is very important. But man, give me a defensive tackle that can pressure the quarterback up the middle and be in his face all day long, getting sacks and stuff. That's why guys like Deron Payne and Jonathan Allen just got big contracts. Like Payne got his big contract this year. Allen got his big contract last year or seasons ago. So, um, defensive tackle is very, very crucial, which in turn makes the offensive guard more important than you think as well. Let's see, give you another name. Okay. Dorian Williams, linebacker, Tulane University. Tulane's in the Group 5 conference. Group 5, which is below Power 5. 6'1", 228, 449, 40. To me, he's another safety linebacker hybrid. Should be a will linebacker, so he doesn't have to do all the reason. Uses athleticism to make plays. Can make plays in the backfield. It looked like he had some offensive experience lined up as a running back and a Wildcat quarterback, based on some highlights I saw of him. He's gonna need time and development. So that's you going. I told you you're gonna hear me use that word a lot. Needs time and development to become a full-time starter. Also has special teams background. So Dorian Williams, linebacker Tulane, to me sounds like a day 3 pick. I like it. If you have a great linebackers coach, draft him, develop him, let him use his athleticism, teach him how to read keys and stuff. He should be fine a linebacker. Weak side linebacker and an even front. Let's see. Oh, linebacker from Texas, DeMarvion Overshawn, linebacker Texas, 6'3", 230, 40-yard dash, 4.56. Overshawn is a fantastic blitzer through A gap. He has range to drop into zone and get an interception. Can also cover in the flats. I will want him on my defense. Yeah, I think Eric, DeMarvion Overshawn. Eric, correct me if I'm wrong. You're the one that said for me to take a look at this guy. Yeah, I was very impressed with him at linebacker. I would definitely have him on my team. I would definitely have him on my team. He's coming out of Texas. Yeah, Texas. Like I said, can blitz, can cover, can drop into zone, do what you need them to do. Just again, draft these guys, develop them. They can do something. They can be Pro Bowl players, maybe even borderline All Pro players. Depend on the position coach, depending on the scheme, depending on how you use them and stuff. Who else I got? I know who I like. Oh, let's talk about this guy, Jalen Carter. Since I guess everything is settled for him, Jalen Carter. So Jalen Carter, y'all know, was projected to be a top 3 pick in the NFL. Um, um, Jalen Carter was supposed to be a top 3 pick coming out of Georgia. Very disruptive. What did I say about him? Yeah, very disruptive player up the middle. Made a lot of plays in the backfield. Blocked a field goal versus LSU. I don't have any combine numbers because of the situation that came up for him. The situation was he was racing in Athens, Georgia, where the school is, and the people he was racing, 2 people died. But I guess the case is settled and finished. So I forgot what his 2 charges were, but it doesn't it doesn't prevent him from playing in the NFL. So he'll have some community service and some other little stuff going on. But um he participated in the Georgia Pro Day, but was just out of shape, constantly winded, 9 pounds heavier than his playing weight. It doesn't look good for Jalen Carter to be a top 3 pick. He'll slide, and teams are definitely going to have questions for him about that situation that happened when he was racing and stuff. So I think Jalen Carter probably slide. Some people say he's still a top 10 pick though. So we'll see what happens though. We got some stuff from Pando. He said, "Oh, I had talked about New Orleans already, man. I don't know if you caught it or not, but yeah, I said something about Derek Carr and Jameis Winston being the backup. I mean, Jameis Winston being the backup to me that says a lot, man. That's very good. I feel like Kamar might get suspended, but yeah, I talked about New Orleans early in this show. Who trades for Lamar, if anyone? It's interesting. I saw something today saying that he doesn't want a fully guaranteed contract, which makes me wonder if he really said that and if he really announced that. I wonder if he's getting desperate to get out of Baltimore. I wonder if he's desperate to get out of Baltimore and just now will probably accept almost any contract, not any old contract, but just accept a reasonable enough contract for him to get out of Baltimore and make sure Baltimore don't try to match or anything. But who trades for Lamar? Um, I mean, there's still teams that need quarterbacks. I mean, Carolina still need a quarterback, but obviously they're gonna draft somebody. Matter of fact, I'll tell you what, let me see who. Give me a second. Who's drafting where? Because Indianapolis needs a quarterback. Minnesota needs one, even though they have Kirk Cousins. I don't care about that. Um, Houston needs a quarterback. Who we got here? Okay. Yeah, Carolina needs a quarterback. Um, Houston. Who's at Indianapolis? I said Indianapolis. Seattle needs a quarterback for the future. People saying I know Geno Smith is back for 3 years, but Seattle can get out of that contract after 2 years. So, long term they need a quarterback. Um, I guess right now Detroit sold on Jared Goff for the time being. Vegas need a quarterback because Garoppolo's not it, but they're not going to draft one. Atlanta, they they're invested in Desmond Ritter right now, and Heineke's the backup. So, but I mean Lamar's still upgrade over both of them. Chicago's committed to Justin Fields. Philadelphia, Jalen Hurts. Tennessee is interesting. Tennessee is saying that they still have Tannehill a quarterback, but I feel like they just hanging on to him for some odd reason. Now, what is that reason? I have no idea. My thing is, if you don't want Tannehill anymore, then trade him. But maybe he will get traded. Maybe he's trade bait right now. So I think that's something interesting to keep an eye on him. But yeah, there's some teams that need quarterbacks, man. The Jets is trying to bring in Aaron Rodgers. Both teams. That's an interesting situation too. The Jets trying to trade for Aaron Rodgers because Rodgers said he want to go there. Both teams are standing 10 toes down on their trade demands. But one thing I know, deadlines make deals. So NFL draft is not until April 27th. We have what? Well, today's pretty much over. So what? 35 days roughly until the NFL draft begins. So that's gonna be interesting to see what happens with that Jets Packers trade with involving Aaron Rodgers. Um. Oh, I know Pando gonna agree with me on this one. New England needs a quarterback because of Mac Jones. um. Once Aaron Rodgers traded, Jordan Love gonna be the quarterback, but we'll see what that looks like. Washington could use Lamar Jackson. I mean, there are teams that could use Lamar Jackson, man. There are teams. Tampa Bay can use Lamar Jackson, but they're going with Baker Mayfield competing with Kyle Trask. Man, I'm looking at all these teams that can use a quarterback, man. The Giants can use a quarterback, but they committed to Daniel Jones. So hey, there you go. All right, y'all. Please keep hitting the like button on both the Facebook side and YouTube side as well. Share this video. If you got any more questions or comments, please drop them. Let's see. If anybody, matter of fact, let me see if there's any. Let me talk about another NFL team that's done something this offseason. Oh, I know. Oh, I know the. Oh, before I went to our Lamar Jackson question, I wanted to talk to you about Nolan Smith, the defensive end coming out of where is his name? What I do with his name? Nolan Smith, defensive end, Georgia, same school as Jalen Carter. Defensive end, 6'2", 238, runs a 40 yard dash 4.39. Very athletic. He's the exact same size as Hassan Reddick. I did not know that until I found out. But he's more explosive than Hassan Reddick. He knows how to defeat the outside hand of offensive tackles versus the pass. You can line him up as a stand-up wide nine. Wide nine is defensive line technique where they line up along the defensive line. Wide nine means it's very wide in the nine spot. Yeah, use that speed to get after the quarterback. He's not. He's good. He was solid. Container the run. He was also able to handle guards versus counters. And so even though he's like 6'2", 238, he's doing this against SEC competition. So he's doing it with legit competition. It's not like he's in the Pac-12 stopping a run. Who we know if you know Pac-12 don't run the ball. They just throw the ball. They're like Mike Martz. Pac-12 and Big 12 do not run the ball. They just throw the ball all over the yard. I mean, shoot, Mike Martz might as well be the head coach in one of them schools down there. What's up, D? So yeah. Questions, comments, drop them. There was a team I was going to talk about before I jumped on Nola Smith. Hold on, give me a second. Let's talk. I'll tell you what, Jacksonville is a good team to talk about. They haven't really, I don't think they've done too much this offseason, but Jacksonville, now they got Calvin Ridley last year before the trade deadline, which flew under the radar, and now he's been reinstated. He's going Ridley's going to be the main receiver. Kirk is going to be number 2. You got Evan Ingram at tight end. They need to give Evan Ingram a contract extension. That man is going to continue to flourish in that offense. So I see Jacksonville's offense taking the next step with Doug Peterson going to his second year as head coach and Trevor Lawrence going to his third year quarterback. I mean, Trevor Lawrence is night and day between Urban Meyer's head coach and Doug Peterson as head coach. So, and then Jacksonville's front seven is just good, man. They have a linebacker who's completely underrated. I forgot his name, but 2 years in a row he led the league in tackles. And then they have some good pass rushers on the edge. Walker and who's the other guy they drafted? Not Chason, because Chason hasn't done anything. I think he's a bust. Who's the other defense? Hold on, y'all. Give me a second. He is good. Edge rusher, Jacksonville Jaguars. Chason, I said no. They got good middle linebacker and Devin Lloyd, Chad Muma. There's another middle linebacker I like too. Oh, Fasade. Who's the other edge guy I like? Throw somebody else. Oh, Josh Allen. Not the quarterback, Josh Allen, but they got a pass rusher named Josh Allen, who's good as well. So Jacksonville should take a step forward this coming off season. They probably win that division this year again. Let's see. Demarion, Cowboys. Hey man. Actually, I just talked about the Cowboys about 20 minutes ago. So when the show's over, please go back and watch the show because I did talk about the Cowboys. Matter of fact, I can almost give you a time frame of when I talked about them. What I do with it? Okay, yeah. If you go maybe like just start at 17 minutes into the show, it's probably when I get close to starting talking about the Cowboys. What's up, Mo? Yeah, Demar. I answer this again real quick. Yeah, of course the defense got better with Stephon Gilmore. I mean, like I said earlier in the show, you have 2 corners that can cover the opposing team's best wide receiver. Like Dan Quinn can sit there and say, okay, this week, Gilmore, I want you to defend Philly's best receiver. Okay. Uh this week, Diggs, I want you to cover Terry McLaurin. So you can go back and forth with the two corners on the other two opposing team's best receiver. It just depends, man. I mean, and with that kind of coverage, plus Deron Bland, who came on strong towards the end of the season, we got more playing time as a slot corner. I mean, that's three corners. That is three corners. That's going to be hard to throw the football on. Matter of fact, that secondary is good because now they have the three-headed monster at safety again since they brought back Donovan Wilson. Just Donovan Wilson, Jaron Curse, Malik Hooker. I mean, that's three safeties, three corners. Yeah. Yeah, Panda. Overshawn is very good. Like I said, I would want him in my defense because, like I said, he can cover in zone, cover in the flats. Well, still zone, but still, and blitz. And see me, I love see me. I'm a blitz guy, so Overshawn would definitely be on my team to blitz up the middle and stuff, man, just to create more pressure and havoc on the quarterbacks. Do I think Texas getting a better team this offseason? Are we talking about the Houston Texans? Um, if we're talking about the Houston Texans, I would say yes. They acquired Jimmy Ward from the 49ers, who knows DeMeco Ryan's defensive scheme very well. So he'll be able to teach young players, Derek Singletary and no, sorry, Derek, not Derek, Derek Stingley. I'm sorry, Derek Stingley and Jalen Petrie, the coverages and stuff and what to do. Um, Matter of fact, Petrie and Ward are both corner safety hybrids, so they both should do very well as when they have to be an overhang to the weak side, and that secondary is going to be so much better. They added Dalton Schultz, who is a solid tight end. It's not a great tight end, but solid tight end. So whoever their quarterback is everybody knows a veteran tight end is good for a young quarterback. So whoever their rookie quarterback is should be able to get some easy completions to the tight end, Dalton Schultz. They added running back Devin Singletary to pair up with Damian Pierce. I mean, that gives them a good backfield. That's they're slowly getting better. They're slowly getting better. They're gonna have to hit on draft picks, of course, as always, too. But for Houston, that team right now, um, unless something happens this season, is more so for 2025, 2026, especially 2025. But we'll see what happens because a good draft or good offseason can help speed up the process for them. Yeah, I'm gonna go about another 5 or 10 more minutes. Okay, another 5 or 10 more minutes. So if you got more questions, comments, drop them. I don't mind responding to them. Definitely continue to hit the. I got 4 likes on the from what I can see on the Facebook side. I can't see the matter of fact. I can go. I got some likes. Come out real quick. Yeah, man. I got some likes, man. That's cool. That's cool. Hey, y'all, keep liking. Keep hitting the like button both on the YouTube and Facebook side. Share it with people who you know that love football, man. It doesn't matter. Mom, dad, brother, sister, cousin, aunt, uncle, grandparents, nephew, niece. Share it, man. Share it. Questions, comments, questions, comments. If not, I'm gonna come up with maybe 1 or 2 more teams or 1 or 2 more players to talk about. Let me go back to the who's a team I want to talk about. I had in my mind. Oh, Here's a question. What do you think about the Chiefs signing the linebacker and safety? Chiefs signing linebacker safety. Give me a second, because I gotta find out who they signed. Linebacker and safety. Where is? I don't have it on here. Okay, hold on. Because I gotta find out who they signed. Chiefs, Cowboys, Bills, Broncos, Cam Newton. If you got the names, please drop it because I can answer a whole lot faster. Oh, I know. I want to talk about Detroit. Okay, I'm gonna do this question. Now I'm gonna get to Detroit. Um, who did Kansas City sign? Yeah, Kevin Byard said, "I'm not taking that pay cut." Let me see something. Yeah, if I don't find it, I'm gonna go to Detroit. Yeah, let me go to Detroit. If you got a name for me, Tranquil linebacker. Tranquil, that sounds familiar. Here, hold on, give me a second. If it's no, it's not who I think it is. Let me see who Tranquil is. So I think I know who it is. Yeah, Drew Tranquil. Oh, from the Chargers. Honestly, I'm not even familiar with guy, but I see that he has um a lot of tackles the last 2 years, like 76 in 2021, 146 in 2022. Uh Tranquil in Kansas City with what's the other linebacker's name? Nick Bolton. Oh, that's a good linebacker pairing. That's a good linebacker combination. Tranquil and uh Bolton. That's gonna be good for Kansas City's defense. They can drafted defensive end and George Kalakis from Purdue like a year or two ago. We'll see what happens because they still need to add more in defense. And honestly, I think Kansas City need to focus on defense more so this year in the draft. I don't know what draft picks they have, but like I said, so Tranquil being the kind of linebacker he is, and then Bolton, that should work out well for them on the second level. Um, Let me finish with this. Uh, yeah, Eric, Mac Jones, man. He. Now I tell you what though. I tell you what. Yeah, I tell you what. Let me get into this and let me get into Detroit. Mac Jones. We are finally going to find out everything we need to know about him. I'm not saying Juju Smith is a legit number one receiver because he's not. But with him and Mike Jaskeski, like that should help improve what he does out there on the football field, at least improve his numbers. But this is to me, this is a make or break year for Mac Jones. I know he didn't have a great offensive coordinator last year because his OC was Matt Patricia, who's really a defensive coordinator and was a horrible offensive coordinator. But with Bill O'Brien at OC, Juju Smith at wide receiver, and Mike Krzyzewski at tight end, is now enough for Mac Jones, despite last year. Even with dealing with last year, it's crucial year for him. Detroit. Detroit got better in the secondary. Um, Emmanuel Mosley paired up with Jeff Okuda at corner, and then Chauncey Gardner Johnson at DB. I'm gonna just say DB because he can play safety, nickel corner, and a pinch outside corner. But Detroit secondary is going to be fantastic with that pass rush. I'm not just Aiden Hutchinson, but they drafted a defenseman last year in round 4. If they get a run stopping nose tackle, I don't know what the linebacker situation looks like, but if they can stop the run, they definitely be able to shut down the passing game. So, and Detroit's their offensive passing game should take a next step with Williamson from Alabama, who's going to a second year. Amon St. Brown, the main receiver, and they added who they added running. Who was it the Bills added running back? I'm sorry, y'all. I know I'm all over the place. Give me a second. They added a running back. Who was it? What? No, that's Buffalo. Detroit added. Who was it? Miles Sand. No, Miles Sanders with the Carolina. I'm sorry. David Montgomery. That's who it was. David Montgomery. So David Montgomery and the other back, is it DeAndre? Whatever his name is. They got good backfield. So Detroit is going to be a much improved team this year. I think Minnesota takes a step back. Green Bay takes a step back because they're supposed to lose Aaron Rodgers. We'll see what Chicago does the rest of the offseason, more so now in the draft. But right now, and I'm subject to change my mind because we're going to have episodes in May, June timeframe like we did last year where we talk about who we feel like is going to be the best teams in each division and rank them. But like I said, we wait till after the draft. Detroit right now, March 21st, 2023 at 10:06 p.m. Eastern. I feel like Detroit's going to win this division. Eric, are you asking me about my feelings on Josh Allen, on the quarterback Josh Allen from Buffalo? I'm gonna say something. Let me say this about Josh Allen, then I'm done. Josh Allen as a quarterback in Buffalo, it didn't look good for him in the playoffs. He got exposed, and teams are going to just study that all off season. If that offense does not take the next step it needs to take, whatever that is, and really needs to be a quick passing game, in my opinion, for Josh Allen, because all that running and throwing, that's going to catch up to him too, just like it catch up to any other quarterback in the NFL. Stop having quarterbacks run all over the place. You know, Michael Vick suffered a broken leg. He had 4.3 speed. He was about one of the most elusive quarterbacks we've ever seen. They're going to get hit. Josh Allen is a big quarterback. His body's going to break down on him. I think, to me, I already have a feeling that they're not going to go far. If Buffalo does not take that next step they need to take offensively and in the playoffs, Josh Allen, to me, is overhyped. I feel like he's been overhyped anyway, but I kept my mouth closed. I didn't say anything. I think Josh Allen at quarterback is going to, in my personal opinion, will drop as one of the best quarterbacks in the league. I know he's been to. I know he's had a good. He had a great game against Kansas City that one year in the playoffs, but to me, it's overhyped, overrated, and it's slowly being exposed. All right, y'all. Great show. I'm gonna end it here. Thanks for watching, hanging with me. Next week, hopefully, some of the guys will be back. We'll see. It's been a great week for Just a Fan Podcast. We're live currently on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Please hit that like button, share with, like I said earlier, please share it with everybody. You can follow us on IG, Twitter, and Facebook. You can listen to us on Google, Apple, and Spotify podcasts. Anything else I need to cover? We are, let's see, since today's over, so tomorrow's the 22nd. We are about 34, 35 days left from the NFL draft. The final Thursday of April is day one of NFL draft. So, yeah, We're gonna continue to get y'all ready. I'm Coach Williams, the NFL Encyclopedia, the Wildcat quarterback that runs this thing. Good night, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages.